about your professions as side job photographers, and we've also touched upon some of the ventures that you've done in photography, weddings, events, parties. How many would you say you've done thus far in your career as a photographer for a side job?
For me, since I started as an apprentice in early 2009, at least one per week, I shoot at least one event, either wedding or prenup. So that's 4 a month or 5.
And yourself, Paulo?
Around less than 20, I guess.
Less than 20. So that's still quite a really, really good number. What would you say is your top 3 memorable photography projects, Leanne?
Top 3. I shot 3 weddings, 3 memorable weddings last year. The first one, the most memorable one was last December 11. I was referred as a main photographer by my friend, my former office mate. It was the first time that I shot as a main photographer.
Wow.
Because I usually shot as a backup for someone else.
Was it nerve-wracking for you?
Yes. And at that time, I shot a couple. Both of them were lawyers. So we had, when we were arranging the contract, we had to send it back and forth because we were both fixing the terms. So
were they lawyers that you happened to know?
I didn't. It was the first time that I got to know them. So, and we were also shooting in Baguio. I found out just then that the wedding's in Baguio, so that added to the pressure. And I was also...
Why is Baguio
because
adding
it's
to the pressure?
Far, so you have to arrange the logistics. Because it's easier if it's here in Manila, since you have to just the call time would be much later. Okay. So then we had to leave at 12 midnight to get there at around 7 or 4 in the morning. And then I also had to do an on-site slideshow. It was also my first time. I'm not sure if the couple knows. That was my first time. But anyway, they were happy with the results because after we showed the slideshow, they were really raving about it. So at least I was satisfied that I delivered a good shoot that day. And then the second one was last year also, October 2. I shot the wedding of my former classmate back in law school.
That's really cool.
But I only found out that I was shooting him and his wife during the wedding because I wasn't booked as a main photographer then. I was only the backup. So I didn't know the couple. So when I got there, I got surprised that I was shooting them. And the girl I also knew, their names are Reggie and Say. Say I knew from... She's a friend of a friend, but not from law school.
Now, did you find the personal relation made it a little bit more easier for you to photograph them?
Because at that time I was also praying that I'd get a good shoot. Because the week, if I remember correctly, the week before that, I had a terrible shoot because I had a bad stomach ache, so I wasn't able to shoot well. So I was hoping that the next shoot would be easier to shoot. And then at that time, I saw both of them, and both of them are very funny, and especially the groom is very wacky. I was tasked to shoot him, so I was just so happy that day that I was able to shoot them, and that I saw a lot of familiar faces during the reception and during the church itself. So, and the third one was back in 2009, not 2010 pala. In 2009, February 14, I shot the wedding of one of my church mates.
Wow, Valentine's Day wedding.
And it was also Chinese New Year, I remember. Both of them are Chinese. And she actually booked our studio. I wasn't allowed to shoot then. I was still an apprentice. So I just shot as a third photographer. And that's when I realized how nice it is to shoot your loved ones. Because it was the first time I shot someone.
That's what made it memorable for you.
Yes. So like the other wedding, I saw a lot of familiar faces, some friends. So it gave me more motivation to shoot well since I knew the couple and then both of them are close to me. So, and I realized also that you get to know a lot about a person during his or her wedding. So that's what I discovered.
Now, what do you find is the appeal of wedding photography?
Here in the
especially having done so much in your career.
It has a lot of emotions.
And
so many emotions just in one day, and then because you know that the couple prepared well for each wedding, and then you just want to capture everything from the preparations until the reception. So if they get stressed, you also get stressed at the start.
Everything.
Yeah. So.
And Paula, why do you enjoy filming and photographing weddings?
Weddings, as I said before, it's because of the play of emotions during the day.
Right.
At the same time, I love to hear those vows that I sometimes forget to click the shutter.
Yeah.
And get into the moment that I forgot, oh, I'm working as a photographer, I'm not a guest here,
Right.
so I need to, capture that. So.
Well, after shooting 20 events, projects, weddings, parties, what would you say is your 3 most memorable?
3 most memorable, I have this, I'm not sure if this is memorable for the bride and groom, but I had this funny experience wherein one of my main photographer almost lost the wedding ring.
Almost?
Yeah, almost lost. Yeah,
No, were you able to capture that on film?
No, I was not able to capture it because I was also looking for the ring. The mom of the bride was there and he was saying, oh, where's the ring? Oh no, I think we lost it.
Right.
So, And then the other one is when I was able to capture the wedding of the brother of my classmate.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's, as Lian mentioned, it's much easier to document weddings when when you know the people.
Why do you feel that it's easier to document when there's more of a personal relation?
Maybe because you could easily relate to them.
Right.
Yeah, he could throw some jokes, and it's so everything is light. It's not that as stressful as when of course when you're capturing someone's wedding, you're not really friends with them initially. So I mean, it's much easier if it's a friend or you know them beforehand.
Right, the connections there, right, and even artistically then.
Exactly. And then lastly, I had this recent wedding, my first time to shoot a wedding, destination wedding in Palawan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the couple flew us to Palawan. I shot that as a backup also. So,
definitely a perk then that comes with the territory, right?
Of course. And then the family of both the bride and groom were very warm, very hospitable, with typical Filipino values. Yeah.
And what made that specific project memorable for you?
They treat us as family members also.
Oh wow!
So so it's much easier to shoot that wedding. So
now, from shooting in Palawan to shooting in Baguio, what would you guys say is the perks of photography aside from travel?
As I've mentioned earlier, you get to meet a lot of people.
Right.
And then there's the fulfillment you get, especially when someone uses a picture you took as a profile pic in case of, wow, she actually admires the picture I took.
Right.
So every time I go home, I don't feel tired after every wedding, despite the fact that you shoot for 10 hours straight. And I just look at the pictures and it just gives me pleasure to see how beautiful,
right,
how beautifully I've captured the entire day.
You just mentioned 10 hours. That goes to show you have to really love what it is that you're doing if you're going to be doing it for 10 hours at a time, right? And yourself, Paula?
Yeah, fulfillment for me is at the end of the wedding day, the couple approaches you and thanks you for, for being part of their special day. Because it's not every day that you get to be a part of somebody's special day, right? So.
Now, for those who are interested in potentially getting into photography as a side job, what tips or advice would you give them?
Well, for us, since we're both we both have main jobs, I would suggest not to let go of the main job yet. If you think you can't do it, if you can't do photography yet as a solo job, because as we've said earlier, you need the other job to finance your gear and what else.
Yeah, another tip is you have to practice, you have to be good in time management.
No, for sure.
Yeah, because as Lian said, you don't want to lose your main job because of your side job, because the main job finances the expenses of the side job.
Right.
At the same time, it's also good that you participate in different local forums, photography forums, so you could.
And why is that important?
So you could expand your wings. I mean, you get to meet other people, other photographers. So.
Do those local forums also teach you different techniques?
Yeah, sometimes they have some they call EBs, eyeballs. So you get to exchange information. That's for free, right? So it's a good source of information. But then you could also. It's also a good investment to attend workshops because you try to learn from other experienced people who have gone before you. So you could try to draw out something from their experiences that could help you also.
Yeah, I think it's also important to market yourself in your, like for example, in your main job. Of course, you've established circles that you haven't met in photography, so you have to utilize that. Like for me, I market among law school people, my batchmates back in law school, my former office mates. So that's where you get clients that other people can tap.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that helps in marketing, especially that you cannot do it full time. So you try to tell your friends that if you knew some people who are getting married, this is my website, maybe they could you could recommend us, or I could shoot your wedding for free. Yeah.
Well, definitely inspiring, and thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you also.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Shop Talk. I'm Raquel Rodriguez. Follow ANC Shop Talk on Twitter and be a fan of ANC Shop Talk on Facebook. Enjoy the rest of your day.